All right, we are live. Anna, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much to everyone listening in. I am always so honored when our friend Jason invites me to be part of anything that he does because he's such a respected name in the space. And if you haven't met him in person, he's one of the funniest humans I know. So thank you so much for the invite.
Awesome, Anna. That's awesome, and we've crossed paths so many times over the past few years at some pretty awesome events. I think the first time we met was it in Tel Aviv at the DMI Expo? I think it's possible.
Tel Aviv, or it was a small, maybe Prague or
I think
Tess.
Prague.
Yes, Tess
You
Prague.
lose. It's crazy, when you're traveling around and speaking at shows, you lose track of the beautiful cities you've been to and where you've met people
I
in a
know.
row.
We travel so much, but it was a smaller event and your energy was just the best. You were speaking before me, and I just got captivated. I was like, yes, yes, he really knows what he's talking about. So, yeah, that was fun.
Well, you know what? And likewise, right? Because even yourself being so embedded in marketing and being a well-known name in the affiliate marketing space, I thought it was a no-brainer to have you on this podcast to talk about your journey into marketing and what's on the horizon for marketing. And first and foremost, give us a bit of your origin story and what got you into marketing and becoming the CEO of MaxWeb.
It's a great question. And I always love sharing this because 7, 8 years now ago, I knew nothing about affiliate marketing. So I have double citizenship. So even though I live in Romania now, I'm very Americanized. I moved to the US when I was 19. I went to Penn State, Pennsylvania for my bachelor in business and marketing. And then I went to UCLA for my MBA. So, from East Coast girl to a West Coast girl, I got my MBA. I worked for a Fortune 500 company in Los Angeles. So very Americanized. Although I was born in Eastern Europe, I knew nothing about affiliate marketing or anything that has to do with our industry. And long story short, something happened. I had to come back to Romania for a bit to take care of my family. My grandma was sick, so I really wanted to come and be with her. So I paused work for a bit, right? I had a great employer in Los Angeles, Renee. If you're listening, thank you for always being a great mentor. So I told Renee, I want to go home for a bit. I want to be with my grandma. It was the first time in my life when I didn't work, right? So I came to Romania. I was taking care of my grandma. I decided I wanted to stay longer and help my dad and be here for a bit longer. So I told Renee, fill my spot. I'm staying in Europe for a bit. And then a few months later, I met my current husband, who is awesome. And we decided, we want to be together. We want to start a family. And I was like, okay, well, I need to figure out what I want to do. The idea was we're going to go back to the US, find something else that we both love to do. And a friend of a friend was like, well, you have an MBA, don't you? And I was like, I do. I was like, there's this person working online. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing, but they need someone to help them run a digital business. And I was like, we'll see. I mean, I can talk to them, right? I started talking to this person. His name is Mike. He's one of my closest friends and mentors. I helped him with a lot of his businesses, before I decided to open MaxWeb. But I fell in love with Mike as a human. And then he introduced me to everything that is affiliate marketing, right? So it really is because I got to meet Mike Peters. If you're listening, hi.
Great guy, Mike. How you doing? Long time no see. Got to catch up again soon.
So it's really because of him that I got started in this space, right? So he had a payment processing company, so I was helping with that. And then, as I wanted to do my own thing, I saw this big need in the marketplace. Like there are so many affiliate networks out there, but the networks, they didn't really understand how to run traffic, right? They knew how to get affiliates, but it's very hard to push an offer to an affiliate if you don't understand how to run traffic, right? So that's what I wanted to do. I saw this, I have a business background, right? So I saw this need where, okay, what if I open a network, but we are very traffic oriented? Like we learn how to do native, we learn how to do Facebook and YouTube. And then when we are sure the offers are great, then we show them to affiliates, because if you show them awesome offers, if they make money, they're going to love us, right? And thankfully it worked. It's been going up ever since. We create offers, but we also partner with a lot of offer owners in this space. Video sales letters are our superpower. So there are many niches out there. So if you have a survival offer, we probably can do well with it. But if it's something like travel, we would recommend you to a different network just because that's not our specialty yet.
Let's circle back for a second because I just want to talk a little bit about business ownership in Transylvania, which is essentially where you live, right? And we were talking before we went live here about some of the challenges in navigating that. Like being like you have to travel 3 hours to get to an airport that takes you on a small plane to get to a bigger airport to get to all these different conferences you speak at around the world, but you wouldn't trade it for the world.
I wouldn't. So people, when I say, oh my gosh, I'm not a fan of travel, they're like, that's the silliest thing you can say. And I mean, we see your Facebook, your Instagram every week, you're always in a different city. How can you say you don't like to travel? It's not that I don't enjoy the experiences, because I'm really a people's person. I love to meet my friends. I love to meet new clients. It's also really fun to see new places. But the actual travel itself, imagine what a pain it is. I mean, I relocated to this small town in Transylvania. It is, I don't know the population number, but you kind of know everyone when you go to town, right? It's a small town. And then to get to an airport, I have to drive to Cluj-Napoca. They have a huge festival in the summer. Some of our clients actually came. It's called Untold. So Cluj is bigger, right? So I drive to Cluj. They have an airport. It's still not big. It's not like Bucharest, right? The capital. You still can get only some flights. Usually I'll get a flight to Bucharest from Cluj, and then from Bucharest you'll go to like Germany, and then from Germany you'll get to Spain, and then from Spain you'll fly to the US, Canada. So 30 hours later, I'm there. So when people are like, oh, I have double citizenship, so I can use my American passport anytime I want, right? It's not like it's hard for me to get in, but every time I hear of a new conference in the US, I just calculate 30 hours there, 30 hours back. The time zone change. It's not fun. I would
It,
not
it,
trade it, but it's not fun.
it takes a toll just doing that kind of travel, on the body. I mean, even for example, I got this Apple Watch here, and I trace, all my steps, all this and that, all my VO2 max, and I noticed my health when I traveled did like a massive dip. Like you can see it. The app tells me the iPhone, the Apple Watch tells me my health, my heart rate, my resting heart rate. They did this when I travel, and they go down and then back up when I'm back to normal after my recent travels. So but do you ever get to a point where it's like, I want to scale back on the travel, or are you just like, this is part of the job and now I got to do it and it's part of my life?
Both. So it's so fun that you mention your watch, because I got this Aura ring as a gift
Mm.
a few months ago. It was earlier this year. So I'm wearing it constantly for at least 6 months now. And it's the best thing that ever happened to me. I mean, I could not believe a ring. And sadly, I don't have an affiliate link for Aura, because otherwise I could have like plugged it in. It's just a genuine gadget that I got as a gift and I use. It's so great how you said, when I travel, like my restfulness scores are awful. Even if obviously, thank goodness, I can afford a very nice hotel, it's not the same as being home. So
Mhm.
it's exhausting. I don't feel good. I feel tired. Then for a week after I come back home, I feel crappy. My son is 7 now, so he wants me to have energy and play with him. And then a week after, when I start feeling good, I have to prep for the next trip. So it's very hard. And I'll have to do both, in the sense that I now have a great team. It takes time, right? Any entrepreneur listening to this is probably nodding their head as to how hard it is to find good people to take over the stuff that we need to do. MaxWeb was such a small company, right? We still are in a sense, but thankfully, because financially we're doing so well, it's easier to hire global talent and travel and do whatever we want. But business wise, I mean, what is maybe 30 of us? Well, of course, we have many consultants and whatnot, but 30 is not a huge number for a company, right? But it's so hard to get to those 30 people you trust. It took me years and years to train good account managers, people that I trust at conferences. We had our fair share of not good fits. I would never call someone not a good employee, because in the right company, I'm sure they would thrive. We had situation where someone was just not a good fit for us. And now, after all this travel, I can say that I have a great team. They're going to do more of the shows, especially in the US. So I'm very sorry to all my US friends, but I'm going to try next year to, maybe I'll come once, maybe, but now they get to come to Europe. I mean, they can come to Europe, they can come to Dubai, they can come to Bangkok. So we're definitely going to do that next year. I'm hoping 0 or 1 shows in the US.
Travel offers a nice incentive for employees too. Everyone wants to travel. Employees want to travel. They want to go do that journey over to the US and represent the business. And so how do you manage that in your company when you hire in an employee? Do you use travel as an incentive for good employees?
Absolutely. Of course. Of course. And it's also, we want to be very transparent. Like we have this meritocracy idea at MaxWeb where it's not a hierarchy, it's like a round table and all of us decide together. Obviously, they need leadership. And I'm very happy when it comes to a process. Obviously, I will be the one writing it or vice president or so not. But when it comes to ideas like, okay, what show we're going to go to, we all chime in. And absolutely, yeah, it's a great incentive, especially for I'm a millennial, but Gen Zers love to travel. It's, it's such a big incentive for them. And I always mention that. But I'm also very transparent that not everyone is going to be a good fit at a conference.
Mhm.
So, before we hire, even if traveling is on the table, I want to be honest because after a show, we're going to know if they're ready or not, right? So we can have an account manager that's very bubbly on Skype. They know how to communicate, but they get very nervous at shows, right? And it's expensive to send one employee to a show. Imagine sending 10, how we have to, because we want to make sure we're everywhere. You want to make sure it's a good fit. So yes, it's an incentive, but we also need to be honest that not everyone is very good at shows, right? Because it's not enough to be nice. You have to ask the right questions, you have to make notes, you need to know how to follow up when you get back home.
Yeah.
It's a whole chapter.
So that's a good point, and I mean, I've seen it in the extreme bad cases where people don't know how to handle their alcohol, right? And that's a
Oh,
big part of a lot of the event, right? Is managing your alcohol consumption when it's basically like
and
accessible, open bar, like people can get wedding drunk if they want to, right?
absolutely. Oh, we've all seen it, right? And we all want, I mean, we want to be the cool bosses that understand that, we were young ones, but we cannot be understanding when it comes to stuff like this, right? I mean, we have all these people talking about work as it would be a family. Sure, it is a family in a sense, but we need to be very honest. I mean, it's a business, we're trying to make money, so we have certain things that we cannot overlook. If someone gets very drunk at a party and that's something terrible, I mean, it depends. There are many levels. If they would just get drunk and maybe have too much of a good time and wake up late the next day, let's say it's a mistake. It won't happen again. But if they disrespect the client,
Exactly. How would you track KPIs for an event when you're sending employees to an event? Like, is it looking at the ROI of the sales or that they bring back to the company? Like, how do you, or I mean, because that's sometimes tough to measure if you're just trying to, build a relationship per se.
absolutely. It's not easy. It's not easy, but over the years, I have certain KPIs that I always look at. One of the KPIs is how many business cards. And I know it
Mm.
sounds like such a silly KPI because you can just grab random business cards, right? But that's okay. Like, I want you to go to every single booth at that event and grab a card, even if you don't talk to them, even if you don't have time, because you're going to bring all those business cards. We're going to put it in a spreadsheet. And then our marketing team is going to write a brilliant email trying to capture that lead. People will forget if they met you or not at the event, right? If you walk around with a MaxWeb shirt, they might remember seeing you. But if you get all those business cards, then you come home and the marketing team can help you try to get that sale. So one of the KPIs is as many business cards as you can, not just from the people that you meet at parties or people that you have meaningful conversation with, just all the business cards that you can get. Just grab them and we're going to put them in a spreadsheet and we're going to use it, right? Because there are businesses out there in our space that try to sell you information like that. And you don't even know if it comes from an event, right? This way I can trust it that is from, my team getting those cards. So that's one of the KPIs. The second KPIs is social media presence.
Mm,
How many people do you have in your photos, right? It's kind of a must for you to be comfortable
mm,
using social media as an account manager. So when you're at events, your KPI is to take at least 5 picture at every event. So if you're going to a party sponsored by our friends at ClickBank, I want to see at least a minimum of 5 different people in your pictures that we can then use on social media, right? And the team knows, even the ones that are not comfortable with pictures, they have learned over the years. I mean, you've met me at events. How often do I take pictures?
mhm.
All the time. I'm like, wait a minute, guys, we're going to finish the conversation. We're just going to take a picture first. It's, people get used to it. They're not going to think you're weird or anything. It's just like a KPI of presence to people to remember that we were there, right? So that's the second thing. Um, I'm giving you all the secrets, but you would be surprised that people don't actually implement them, even when you tell them the secrets.
So true.
And the third one is KPIs in terms of sales. But with that, you need to look at a 6-month period. For affiliate managers, I'm not going to look at the next week after the event. I'm going to give them 6 months. So we're going to keep all those leads open into a different spreadsheet for the next 6 months. And, it's their job to show me in 3-4 months, do you remember that affiliate that I met in Las Vegas? Well, check this out. He finally picked an offer. He's doing, 200 sales every day. And then I know, and it's in their interest to show me that they got a lead that worked, because one good affiliate from a conference can make us so many profits. We can pay for another conference in itself, right? So those are the 3 things that I usually look at. But it's very important for the sale KPIs to be patient. To be patient, because your team can be fantastic, but affiliates, they have so much going on, right? It's going to take them time to think of a new lead, of a new ad, of if in 6 months you don't get any sales from like a specific event, okay, then it's probably not a good event for you to go to next year.
I think that is absolutely brilliant that you put that much thought into, addressing the KPI issues with sending employees to shows. I think that's so important. I've worked at companies before where it was basically just like, how many sales did you bring back? Well, when that's the incentive to send an employee to a show, well, naturally they're going to look desperate. They're going to be going around having conversations, and the first thing they're talking about with every single person they meet is, "Oh, do you
Gosh.
sell traffic? By traffic, it's like it's not authentic, right? You might as well just do that over cold email, you know?
Amen. Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's actually one of the advices, I can talk for a whole hour just about events etiquette, but never talk about a business unless the person is asking you about the business. Like I always tell the team that. Sure, tell them you're with MaxWeb, make sure they remember that name, but that's about it. Ask about their hobbies, their family, their friends. You have time in the follow-up when you get home, if you want to, because if they like you, they're going to be interested to see, oh, I remember Joey from the event. He was awesome. Let me see what he does, right? But if you're going to try to sell on the spot, most of the times, I mean, I know I don't like to be sold, so
Mhm. It's gotta be
it doesn't
natural.
work out. It has. You want to work with people that you like. We all want to make money, and we might as well make it with people that we like. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier, one of the steps that happens is your marketing team will go out there and create a brilliant email. How much of that email now is generated through ChatGPT and AI?
Well, not a lot of it yet. What we use ChatGPT. We really do. We love it. I even in Barcelona this year, I actually spent a whole 10 minutes just talking about AI in native ads. So we use ChatGPT. We don't use it for emails yet because I like them to be very short and sweet. So it wouldn't make sense. Like I rather the team use more time on the GIF or the funny video that we're gonna include in the newsletter. But what we use ChatGPT for, and listen how cool this is. A lot of the team members are very smart, like high IQ, but very awkward, especially, the people in operations, in like VP roles, or so it comes very hard for them when they need to reply to a client in a very diplomatic way to before they will be like A, B, and C, like a three sentences basically telling you something that came across as rude, right? So long story short, with ChatGPT, I told them, please take this any email you want to send, put it through ChatGPT and say, please make this email bubbly for me.
Mm. Bubbly.
Bubbly. That's the word that I like them to use. Make this email for me bubbly. You would be surprised. It's cheery, it's fun. You're telling them, hey, you forgot to pay us for 10 leads, but you're basically not yelling at them in a very like negative role. You're like, hey, I'm checking in. I know how to do this, right? Because I have a communications sub minor. I love to talk, obviously. But for someone who doesn't have this, preference on communication, you'd be surprised how hard it is for them to make something bubbly, which to them sounds like, well, how do I make bubbly that I need to tell them about A, B, and C?
That's interesting. Yeah, because right now, the way I'm using ChatGPT a lot now is really I'm creating separate bots depending on a specific niche. So I'm having ChatGPT go and do research into a certain niche before I even give it prompts, before I even have it write that email or edit this email to be, more friendly or more professional or more insightful. I think that helps a lot. So essentially, if you look at my ChatGPT, I got like a landscaping bot, an SEO bot, a social media bot, a restaurant bot. There's all these different bots that are specialists in those specific areas, and I think that's one of the big things we talked about on a previous episode with Dennis Yu was really going into some of those prompts and having the ChatGPT dive deeper into a specific point. Great example of that is saying, hey, go research MaxWeb's website. And I'm going to be interviewing the CEO, Anna Gita, and give me some questions I can talk to her about. Okay. That's cool. But what it's going to churn out are a bunch of questions that you've probably already been asked on other podcast episodes. So it's like, cool. So it's like going back in and asking Anna, well, talk to me, give me some more questions to ask Anna about native ads, for example. You know what I mean? So it's taking it that next level. So it's not just like the direct response that you get from ChatGPT, but diving deeper into it.
I love it. That's so smart. And we do something similar for native, but I made a mental note of the team learning to like use different areas for like gut health should be a different, bot from the vision bot, because many times you want them to have their own specialty. So that's very smart. We obviously use it for ads a lot because it's great to have that. But I'm actually gonna make. Let's see what the marketing team does if they do something like that, right? Even with blogs, I think it's gonna be easy. We'll take it to the next level for sure, and I think it's such a great tool. It's never gonna. The AI tools are not here to replace us, right? I think that's such a silly way to look at it. People were so scared when the internet came around, right? I always tell my son I'm older than Google, and he laughs. And now you guys know how old I am, but it's not something to be scared of. It's something we can implement. Even they can create more jobs, because I bet there's going to be an AI officer in many companies in the future that's going to, train others on to how to ask the right questions, how to investigate. So I'm personally very excited, and I think it's a great tool for any business, especially our digital marketing businesses.
I'm surprised you used the bar as when Google started, as you were born before Google. I found that interesting because I can actually remember when Google started, which really shows my age. So you're still young. You're so young. You're good.
Just very good genes, but thank you. I always say this, with me, flattery, that's my love language, right? So if my son and my husband know if like something is not right, just give me a compliment and I'll be like, okay, what do you want? What do you need?
Your husband is very lucky that it's that easy. My wife's love language is service.
Oh, that's how my mom shows love. So we always have warm food. My son's clothes are always
Mm,
washed. So thank goodness for that.
mm. See,
The
all
way
I got to do, yeah.
What about you? How do you show love though?
You know
Because
what? My show, well, actually, that's interesting because I think show and and
receiving is
and
different.
receive is the same, is it not? Like I would think, like for me, like I'm big on touch. I'm a touch. That's
Mhm.
just like touch, like nice
Very
neck
organic.
massage. Like I love that stuff, right? And but my wife is service, so it's constantly if I go and you know maybe if I just sweep the kitchen, that's like
Nice.
a all right, that's awesome. Right, scores. It's and maybe I get a head rub at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So it's that kind of a thing. So, but
No,
yeah,
no,
it's interesting.
different. It's different. So that's why, I have many friends that are therapists and whatnot. So I've been as a Eastern European, very pragmatic person, I learned a lot of things about this the last few years. So it's very different the way you show and the way you like to receive it. So for me, I love to
Mm.
get gifts. I realized ever since I was a kid, like now, thank goodness I can afford to buy nice things for my family. But even when I couldn't, I used to make gifts as a kid. So gifting things is the way I like to show my love. However, in return is words of affirmation. So you can buy
Mm.
me a very expensive purse, but if you didn't tell me a compliment with it, you might as well just, it's
Mm.
and it's so important that for us to know that about ourselves, right? And to be able to communicate that to the people we love, because otherwise it's just a world war.
And if you are an affiliate with MaxWeb, you will know you firsthand that Anna loves gifting, because I've got numerous T-shirts and sweatshirts and caps from MaxWeb, which I love, and they're always high quality stuff. It's always high quality stuff at you. You don't cheap out on that stuff.
It's such a good point. I didn't even realize they do that with our affiliates too. And we do, like, I think most of our good affiliate friends all got a ring because I like mine. So
The Aura ring? Yeah, the Aura ring?
yeah.
Wow, that's insane. That's awesome. Wow, that's really cool. And let's do things like that. Essentially, you're creating a community and for yourself of
And they
your
can
high
afford to get
profile
it for
affiliate.
themselves. Like, it's not about that. Obviously, our affiliates that are profitable, it's such a profitable, lucrative business. Obviously, they can afford it for themselves. But most of them, like people that make a lot of money, like, you and I, we work so hard, we rarely buy stuff for ourselves, right?
True.
We're like, our kids need something, our wife, our friends, I might as well buy something for an affiliate than buy it for myself. So when you get it, it's so special. So I think a lot of our affiliates and our clients feel the same. Like, they really feel spoiled when they get a gift.
Let's switch gears for a second and get into the weeds of some of the marketing stuff, because I know our audience is probably looking for some, not necessarily tips, but what's on the horizon, especially in affiliate marketing. With the emergence of ChatGPT and other AI tools, where do you see things trending towards affiliate marketing? I'm sure a lot of affiliates out there are nervous, worried. Maybe it's going to become a much more competitive market. What are your thoughts on all of that?
I think, no, good affiliates and affiliates that are taking this seriously as their job, right? As their career, they have nothing to worry about. We've seen these cycles even in just the 8 years, right? Because I have not been doing this for so long. I think 8 years is nothing in comparison to, our how other people in our space have been, around forever. But long story short, so every couple of years, we're going to see something crazy happening that's going to shake our industry. It can be the way Facebook decides to change their compliance, right? Then
Mhm.
it's Google changing their compliance on all of us. And there's always something. But what I've noticed, the good people always prevail. So nothing will change in the sense that affiliate marketing is still going to be very profitable. The idea is that you're going to have to adapt. You're going to have to go outside of your comfort zone. I know a lot of you are going to hate me for saying this, but you're going to have to go to events, because when you go to events, you meet with people, you feel a pulse, you understand the dynamics of what is happening, what is changing. You're going to talk to a different affiliate who's going to give you really good advice on how to create short videos that you can use on YouTube. You're going to talk to an affiliate that's going to tell you, gosh, don't do this. I just lost $5,000 trying to buy links from site A, B, and C. So nothing is going to say change in the sense that affiliate marketing is still going to be very profitable. But the huge change that I'm seeing is very, very hard to do it alone. It's very, very hard to be. We had all the lone wolves. Like, that's the best way for me to explain what I'm trying to say. Like, when I got started, there were a bunch of super affiliate lone wolves that used to make so much money. So on any big network, you had a handful of wolves that just crushed it. 80K profits every single day, made a network, $500,000 just from a handful of people. And they did everything themselves, right? That doesn't work anymore. Doesn't work anymore. If you're a network and you're trying to make sure you're going to be successful, focus on the long tail. Make sure you have a lot of affiliates doing even sales every day. But more importantly, make sure you have a community. Because if affiliates don't help each other, if they don't get good advice from each other, no one makes money. I mean, we don't get sales on the offers. Uh, Affiliate gets stuck. They need to go back to their 9 to 5s, and it's much harder. And you're going to need to change gears, right? So you might be very successful with Facebook ads this year, but if after 5 months things are just not picking up, don't be embarrassed. Don't give up. Go and try YouTube ads. I mean, you've already understand what affiliate links are. You already understand a lot about it. Make a friend, tell them, hey, I'm going to give you half of my earnings. Just show me how to create some YouTube ads. This is what I've been seeing, right? The last year, after Facebook gave everyone a hard time, a lot of affiliates made friends in the space. They asked for help. Okay, how can I do native ads? How can I do YouTube? They switched gears for a bit. Facebook was still there in the background, was making less money, right? But they were looking into different like traffic sources. They were looking horizontally and at different things they can do. So that's going to be the big change. The more and more over the next few years, sure, focus on the source, be really good at something, but at one point you're probably going to have to switch gears and learn a bit more, and it's going to be very hard to do if you're alone, because it's not enough investing into a course. For some people it is, right? I've seen people take a course and do fabulous, but most of the people learn best from going to an event, learning from other affiliates. And you'd be surprised, guys, like the speakers that we meet, you many people think that they get up there on stage, are very charismatic, and then they don't tell you anything. They tell you everything. Most of the speakers, not everyone, but a lot of the speakers, they're going to go on the stage. I share our best pre-sales when I'm on stage. And everyone is like, oh, why do you do that? Everyone is going to copy you. Well, if they're good at being bad, they're going to copy us regardless, right? We might as help the community, because it's okay for them to get an inspiration of what works, right? So what I'm trying to tell you, a lot of the speakers out there, a lot of the people that have channels are going to tell you all the stuff if you're just like willing to listen. Things have changed the last 5 years. When I started, there was no information. I mean, it was very basic information on SEO, and long story short, now you can even find stuff on native, you can find stuff on YouTube ads, on Facebook. There's quite a bunch of information. So yeah, that's going to be the big change. You're going to go out of your comfort zone, go to events, even if you don't like them, because you need to make friends. That's my advice.
Chat GPT can never shake hands for you, right? So, and also, you'll never really get to know someone's love language without actually meeting them in person and understanding them, right?
Oh,
You can talk about it, but you'll never actually know, right? So, I mean,
hiding perfectly. You're
yeah,
so good.
right. So, I mean, absolutely. Obviously, us two, we're big proponents of going to shows, and we definitely value a handshake. I mean, to be honest, the best clients that we've received as an agency have been ones that have actually sat down and met in person. They're the ones that are always going to give you a longer leash when you're working with them. They're always the ones that are going to be able to, if a mistake happens, and we're all human, mistakes happen, but more often than not, those people that you have a human connection with are going to, let it slide much more quicker than somebody that came in through an online form per se, right? So
100%.
yeah.
100%.
So right now, I mean, you're one thing that's unique about MaxWeb is you guys are very selective with the offers that you choose to provide to your affiliates. Bring me through that process and how you choose offers for MaxWeb.
It's a great question, and I know a lot of product owners listening in. We had to say no a lot, and I've met great people at events, and we still said no because yes, we have a list. Just the way I have KPIs for the account managers attending events, I have very strong KPIs for business owners. So number one, you need to understand affiliate marketing industry. Maybe down the line when we have a business that big where I can assign 100 people to teach new product owners what it means to get into affiliate marketing, we would accept big brands that don't understand affiliate marketing. But right now, if you want to work with MaxWeb, you need to understand the basics of affiliate marketing, which is we need server to server tracking. We need to be able to add a postback pixel because we have over 40,000 affiliates. We need to know who sent those 200 clicks that had a 4.2 conversion rate, right? So we need them to understand the basics. We need the product owners to have creatives. And when I say creatives, at least give us some email swipes, some good ish. You don't even, I think it's like $1,000 to get 4 good email swipes. I don't know the cost. I'm just saying approximately.
Explain an email swipe for our audience.
Well, email swipe is the body of the email that emailer send, right? But we can use that to create a pre-sale for native. We can also take a bit out of that and use it as a blurb for our Facebook ads, right? It basically shows that you as a product owner, you are giving us the secret sauce of the best information to reach the customers. So that's very important. I also want you as the product owner to have demographics. And when I say demographics, don't just tell me women and men over 40. Tell me the devices that they use, the geographical area, their preferences, right? Single moms. There's, as a product owner, because you can install on your checkout pages so many pixels that we don't have access to, should know all that information. So you should be able to give us very, very, very detailed demographics, right? Then as a product owner, don't negotiate on payment terms trying to take like no risk, because as a network, we pay our affiliates 3 times a week. If as a product owner, if you come and tell me, sorry, we're going to pay you once a month, that's the risk is immense. I mean, if we do well, we're going to bring you $500,000 in no time. That's a good problem to have, but it's a terrible problem if we don't get paid, right? So payment terms, we need to make sure that you're comfortable paying, that your business is big enough where you're like, sure, you don't have to pay us 3 times a week, obviously, but at least weekly. I mean, at least every Monday, look at the previous week, so the risk we're carrying is not awful, right? Great communication. We could do a whole episode just about product owners, but good communication, because we don't have access to the checkout pages. Sure, it's well known. MaxWeb has the best affiliates. It's very, very hard to get in as an affiliate, but bad people are very good at being bad. So what I mean by that, no matter how hard we try, once a year, there's probably going to be a bad apple who's going to try to send fraud. Now, if our quality control team and the product owners team have a great communication, that bad apple is going to send 2 fraud sales. We catch him. He's blacklisted. It has not caused any issues for the processing for us or the vendor, right? But let's say we have a vendor who doesn't even look at it like quality control. He lets 500 cells come in. He doesn't look at, the IPs. He doesn't really have, I don't know, chargeback 911. There are so many tools that they can use to make sure that everything is good. Because us as the network, we're not going to have access to all that information. So 500 cells later, after 6 months, they're like, oh, well, all those were refunded, right? I've heard the horror stories. Then it's very hard after you lost $40,000 to go back and try to recuperate that money. And, 40K might not be a big deal when you have a big network, but when you're getting started, that's the difference between paying your employees, right? So I can tell that right away if there are people that understand, that they look at their numbers, that are serious. It's not enough to have a friend that knows MaxWeb, right? Because referrals are important, but you as a product owner need to have a certain type of DNA, need to show us that you're very serious. And last but not least, don't have that entitlement. But I've seen a lot of product owners have, like, well, you should be happy that I'm letting you run our offer. Well, no, you should be happy that you're getting traffic to the offer. I'm all about affiliates, right? And the product owners that we work with, they create offers just for us. So we have wonderful, dear friends who create offers just for MaxWeb. So if we go out of our comfort zone to say yes to a product owner that maybe doesn't even give us exclusivity, right? Maybe that offer is going to be present somewhere else too. It makes sense why we're very, very strict. So if you're a product owner and you're happy with all those 5 things, let's talk, right? We have over 40,000 affiliates. We have an internal media buying team. We are very, very, very good at getting traffic. And especially think about how much money people spend on agencies. Like that, I always think about that as, running a network. Agencies charge so much, like for native ads. That's what I can talk about because that's what we're best at. Agencies can charge so much for native ads and are not sure if they're going to be very good at it because VSLs are very specific. Again, I'm talking about native, I'm talking about VSLs because that's what we're good at. We just charge it CPA. Basically, you only pay us if we get you the sale. So I think it's a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised. There are many different type of product owners out there.
So talking about DNA for affiliates, okay? If you're an affiliate that's maybe new to the game, let's say, okay, and does an affiliate, a good affiliate, need to be super money hungry and going after use leveraging the best offers and creating the campaigns around those best offers that are going to give them the highest payouts, or should an affiliate take the approach where they dive into a specific niche that they're really passionate about, that's more of the long game?
Well, that depends on their personality. Some people are inherently sharks, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. And for sharks, it's easier to try to go and approach the offers that do best in general. However, be very careful, because that approach is not a long-term game, right? You might make a lot of money this month, but with that approach, it's going to be very hard long-term. My advice, to the type of affiliates that we work with, is to definitely pick a niche. It's okay to try to run different offers at the same time, but think about YouTube ads. When you pick a niche like gut health, you're going to need to spend a lot of time creating ads, like good ads that are just yours, that we don't copy in someone else's creative, especially with YouTube. Like, you need unique videos. It's going to be so hard for you to become very, very good talking about gut health and vision and back pain. It's going to be easier for you to be very good at hitting the right points when you become very, very good at one specific niche, right? So obviously, the very good affiliates, they usually, it depends on the traffic source too. For YouTube, for example, it's a no-brainer that you should focus on a specific niche, because you need to study, you need to create videos about that niche. Uh, but ultimately, it really, my advice, if you're an affiliate getting started, you should become friends with your account manager at network, because account managers, I know MaxWeb affiliate managers, they know what offers are going to do well for you. They're going to know better than anyone, and it's in their interest for you to make money, because they make money if you make money, right? Account managers get paid based on how many sales you have, so they have no reason to push offers to you that are not successful. I don't know how things are at other networks, but for us, our team makes money when affiliates make money, right?
Keeps them honest, right? Keeps everybody honest.
I'm very honest. They're not going to push we're going to push new offers, of course, but we're going to tell you, hey, this is new. What do we do for new offers? We actually offer a testing budget, and we say, we're going to give you $1,000 on top of your CPA to test this. And then we get data that way, right? Because people work with people they like, but also people that make them money, right?
Mm.
So I think it's a no-brainer. But if you're an affiliate, sure, it's okay. It's not necessarily a bad approach to try to figure out what offers do best, try to push those. But it's going to be harder, because it's very, very hard to become an expert on 20 different niches and learn how to create ads for 20 different niches.
You
Maybe.
spread yourself so thin, right? You just spread yourself thin. There's only so many hours in a day, right?
Exactly. And, rip and run doesn't work anymore. Like, all the networks, now we have this understanding in the space. If an affiliate copies creatives, I'm going to go like ClickBank, Buy Goods. Like, networks come to me, they tell me who those people were, and we're not going to let them in. Like, because we
Mm.
don't want to make it like all this, the big businesses, we make enough money. If like an affiliate starts copying creatives, no one is going to want to work with them, right? Because it's more of a long-term game. So you trying to go to spy tools and just copy creatives doesn't work. 7 years ago, it was the Wild West. You could do anything and make money. Now you really have to be good at specific things. And in time, absolutely. In time, you're going to be able to write good ads about different niches, I'm sure. But when you just get started, it's overwhelming to try to figure out 20 different niches.
Do you find most of your affiliates, or what percentage breakdown of your affiliates are, or maybe, I don't know if you know the answer to this question, but are using Facebook ads as their primary source of traffic, Google advertising, SEO, native? Do you know which?
I better know the answer. I would not be doing
Okay.
a good job if I didn't know the answer. Yes, I get reports every day. This is such an important question for me, because when MaxUp got started, we had a lot of good emailers. There's this whole like group in the US. A lot of my dear friends do email marketing. So most of the affiliates that were sending traffic were product owners with their own email lists, sending traffic to other email lists, right? So
Mm.
lot of email traffic. That's how MaxWeb got on the map, with a lot of email traffic. And I think I've never told this story before. So we had a lot of email traffic. And then slowly we got a lot of search affiliates, GDN search from Europe. So we started having dozens of affiliates referring their friends that did search in GDN. Then we got all the big Facebook affiliates, because we became friends with Robbie Blanchard and other people that created courses. So we got all those trainees that were doing Facebook. A few years later, we got people that were doing YouTube courses. So right now, I can generally say it's probably like 12% on all the different traffic sources, like Facebook, YouTube, search, email, native ads. And then within native ads, you have a lot of them doing Outbrain, a lot of them doing ref content. What we don't have a lot of traffic ourselves for VSLs is probably push. That's probably the only one where I think we just have a few affiliates and they try smaller offers. But overall, it's a very like split situation, which is very good. It's probably why things go well even in down months, because in usually closer to Christmas with social media is going to be very hard, because the big businesses are buying ads, right? So it's really important to have email and search, because otherwise the profits are going to go down. And then you have weight loss, which is starting to do really well in quarter 1. So then YouTube and social is back alongside Outbrain. So thankfully it's very, very well and beautifully spread across different traffic sources.
Very cool. Awesome. Anna, this has been great. If our audience has any questions about affiliate marketing, or if they're product owners and want to reach out, what's the best way for them to get in touch?
Email. I think my email is best. It's anna.gita@maxweb.com. That's, I'm usually very good about getting back to everyone. Even after all these years and being very busy, I've promised myself I'm never going to dig forever to get back to our friends. So email me anytime. And if I cannot help you, someone from the team will definitely be able to help you.
Yeah. Or better yet, go and catch Anna on our world tour coming up in the year ahead. I'm sure you'll find her on a stage somewhere.
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely. And I look forward to seeing you again, dear friend. We are going to share a stage together soon.
Definitely. Awesome. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.